Okay, welcome to Faith Vocals. My name is Faith. Going to pull together the last few bits of the stream. Thought that today I would return to a save. Let's see. This world is saved, so I'll just return to game. Return to a save of the game Raft. I did some playing in this game a while back, but we are now back and I am thirsty. Let me see if I can drink something here. Oh, it's not thirst, it's hunger. Let me work on that. Ha ha. Okay. Once those planks get cooking, then I'll deal with the hunger. That should be fine. So if you haven't been to the stream before, I am a Christian and I stream games. And I'm looking forward to having a conversation with people who may be different from me. So you're welcome here, whether you relate to my faith or not. I hope that maybe I can present my perspective, the way that being a Christian affects how I see the world around me. And then maybe you can present your perspective in the chat or in comments if you see the stream after the fact. Maybe you want to visit the Discord. I've got a link in the description. I'd be happy to talk with you, and we can kind of compare notes about life. Okay, I've got my food, so let me get this set up to eat it. That should keep me for a while, and I'll get this next bit of food prepared. So I've got my planning better for next time. So if you want to leave your perspective in chat or in the comments. I see a nightly sky. Hi. Love your topics. I'd love to stay, but we have the Lord's Day soon. Just wanted to stop and say hi. Have a nice day. I've seen you before on Discord. It's great to see you. So, yeah, let me go ahead and show you. I tend to use the ID number in my games, ISA79B, which sounds really unrelatable maybe. I'm not on Discord also at this point, so if you see me around, that's how you'll see me. It's actually short for the book of Isaiah. The ISA is short for the book of Isaiah. And then the 7-9 is the reference. So you'd look at Isaiah chapter 7, verse 9. And B means looking at the second half of the verse. And that passage, it's really specific, but it means a lot to me because my name is Faith. And the verse says, if you do not stand firm in your faith, then you will not stand at all. So it's the prophet Isaiah was talking to a particular king who wasn't a very righteous king. Isaiah was trying to give him some advice from God about some wars that were about to get started. It looked like things were going to get rough, and Isaiah was telling the king to have faith in God. But he wasn't a very faithful king, unfortunately. Didn't take Isaiah's advice. But I just find that verse meaningful. If you do not stand firm in your faith, then you will not stand at all. And I have a unique perspective of faith, different than how society tends to think about it. So I would, maybe I should talk about that today, because I'm low on things to chat about, ideas to talk about. I know I can go on about the definition of faith as I see it for a while. I'm going to get my character to fall asleep here, kind of pass some time and get to a more interesting time of day. And then I need to check and see if I've got a spear. I do not have a spear. This is bad because there is a shark in the water. So let me see what I need in order to do that. I can get a wooden spear if I get another plank, so that's good. There's one there. And so that particular verse is meaningful to me. I kind of worry. I've got this channel now. Faith Vocals is the name of the channel. And the name by which I go in a lot of places is not the same name. I've been wondering if I want to look... That's not the button. I've been wondering if I want to look into different ways to set up accounts so that I can have a personal and a stream account, or if that's possible. So something that I'll be researching over time. Nightly Sky, I don't know if you've headed off already or not, but it was great seeing you in chat, and I hope you have a good day and a good Lord's Day. So let me go ahead and dive in on the topic of faith then, and then of course I'm open to anyone who comments in chat. I'd love to hear your perspectives too. My faith affects the way that I see the world in one way, and the way that you believe, whether you have a religion or faith that you pursue or not, will affect your point of view on the world also. So that would be interesting to hear about and compare notes. My concern has been, I said I was going to get on the topic of faith, but let me just, glad I got my spear. My concern has been that people have been really argumentative lately, and over the past few years, they call it being polarized, where you kind of see anyone who doesn't have your beliefs, your point of view, as the enemy. And I've heard that one of the ways I get this sail in my way. I was going to see if I can add another plank here, but I guess not. We're very polarized, and one of the ways that I hear that we can be fixing that is to have more conversations. Try to understand people's points of view more often. So that's really the goal that I'm hoping to accomplish with this channel. So now I'll switch gears, talk about the subject of faith, because of course it's a meaningful subject to me. I don't know if it's your experience. Maybe it's my experience because I have a name that's actually an English word. I feel like a name is something that you try to live up to. So I've got this name, Faith. What should I be doing in order to live up to my name? And I'm just scanning the horizon in case there's any islands around. I should be seeing, I think I made this research bench right after, right as I was about to close the stream last time. So I'm going to see what I can be making here. I have researched some things, but looks like there's a lot more that I'll need to be gathering. I should see if I can get my hand on some bolts, which I think can be found in barrels. Not yet. Tell you what, I'm going to see if I can craft any yet. Not yet? Okay. And then this, I think I would need metal for those, which is, you get that from islands. I got something started there, but you can't work on metal until you have a smelter. I've been playing a game called Forager lately in my private time, and in Forager, the key to get to your inventory is the escape key. So I have trouble with all these different survival games. Smelter. I don't see that. That's probably something to research. I have trouble with all of these survival games where they put the inventory keys on the wrong, on different keys. They're not standard with one another. So it winds up affecting. So if I'm pulling up the menu all the time, it's because I'm trying to get to my inventory. Let's see. Clay, brick. Can I make that? Yes. I need sand. I know where to find sand. That's an island too. So we are going to an island as soon as possible. Let me catch some fish so I don't starve while we're waiting for the island. So I've got this name, Faith. Want to live up to it, whatever that means, right? So what does the word faith mean? And I remember being a kid, and I had a cousin whose name was Lori. She's still alive. Her name is still Lori. She was just a more prominent part of my life at the time. And she and I were talking about names sometime, I didn't... I wonder what I threw away there. Probably whatever I was fishing. So, I could eat these coconuts because I've got nothing to plant them in, right? And now I'll have more room for fish. What kind of fish do I have? Catfish, pomfret, which is good for shark bait. Should I make shark bait? That would be up here, I think. Yes. I don't have enough rope for that. That's easy to fix. And now we've got more inventory space. So at the time, I didn't know what faith meant, what the word faith meant. I was that young. And I remember I was surprised to find my name was in the Bible, the word faith in the Bible. And I asked Lori if her name was in the Bible, and she said, of course. But I wonder if she misheard me. I wonder if she was asking if she thought I was asking if the word glory with a G was in the Bible. So I won't fault her. Then we were about the same age, probably second or third grade around that time. She was a year older than me. So there's a lot of extra damage for me to replace here. There we go, all fixed. And there's an island. Let's see how easy it is to get to. Got the sail set. Looks like a fairly big one, or at least we're coming up on the broadside, so shouldn't be too hard to land on. And then I don't have an anchor, so we're either just going to have to trust the wind to keep us steady, or can I build one real quick? I need more rope. Got it. Okay. I'll just set it. I'll set it there for now, and I need to rotate this thing. There we go. So of course now as a grown-up, I understand a bit more about the meaning of faith. It seems to me that when a lot of people use the word faith by itself, they're either talking about religion, like I talk about my faith being my Christianity, or they talk about blind faith is what I've heard of. Also, I'm going to believe this thing whether or not there's any evidence to prove it. In fact, I've heard that some people believe that the less evidence there is for something, the more faith you are showing when you believe in that thing. But of course, nowadays, modern society, we try to be scientific. The phrase "trust the science" has been pretty prevalent in recent years, especially like the past 2 years, right, with the coronavirus situation. We're all, oops. The science is that if I stay in the water too long, that guy comes and eats me. So I don't want to do that. Okay. May as well unthirst here. And do I have anything? Have I fished anything worth eating? This guy's too big for my little grill, so I really need to work on becoming more advanced. When I get into the water, maybe I can focus on fighting the shark. I know how to kill him. I don't have enough wood and rope for a new... Well, I can make rope. No, I can't make rope. So, I don't have enough for a new spear. That's the concern, is if my spear breaks. Okay, so... How firmly can I get myself in here? There we go. Good and wedged. Now the question is, can I ever get out? Am I going to... Okay, the water wants to move me out. So that's... Oh, there we go. I think that's going to work. Just... Aha! I forgot. I have this. Okay. It's set. Let's go up. Timing was off there. And he's coming back. I'm doing miserable. Okay, here we go. As soon as he opens his mouth is when I need to get him, and then I can get a few more jabs. The problem is I need to breathe, and then I can't really see him very well. Here he comes. Got him. And I'm getting hungry again. But once I beat this guy, that hunger concern is going to go away. So this is first priority. I wonder if my axe will do any good. If this spear breaks, let me try the axe. Okay. Being hungry is affecting my vision, and then it makes me wonder if I'm drowning, which I'm not. It's just being hungry. But there we go. That was close. Got him. Got him. That's it. So now we get 4 nice shark steaks. And I am not going to pick up the shark's head. When you finish and you've harvested everything from the body, they give you a shark's head, which you can wear. I either have one on me or on the boat, I think. So let me check and see. Yeah, I do have one. So I'll wear it. And I was kind of browsing through Twitch last night and saw a Raft stream. And I didn't go and look at the streams, but I was looking at the thumbnails, and someone was wearing this, so it made their thumbnail stand out. I thought that was interesting. And since I kind of use the default thumbnails that YouTube gives me at this point, I may as well go ahead and wear this for a little while. See if YouTube gives me a thumbnail that's going to be distinctive. How about that? So, let's see. Talking about faith and how people think of faith as being blind, as being free from evidence. The other thing about killing a shark is now that he's gone, I can go ahead and gather with impunity, so that's nice. I do want to get back to the raft quickly and see whether there's been any good, whether that food has cooked. I mean, want to check the island for any more good food, because the fruit I had was not very much. I do have, well, that's a raw beet, though. It would be good if I could cook it. I'm getting slower. That's not helpful. So how about I manage my character, and then I'll be able to focus on the topic of conversation. There's another watermelon. I can have that. Okay. And then I'm a little afraid that I'll be so hungry, I'll be nearly starving, and then I'll go to get my food and I'll hit the wrong button and I'll die because I hit the wrong button. Oh no, the wood ran out. Okay, we've got that set. Got a barrel here. Maybe that'll give me some good resources. I'm feeling faster because I got a little bit above that line where you start to go slow, so I can get some more wood for cooking more shark steaks. There we go. So, I think we kind of understand it's a good idea to have evidence for the things that you really want to believe in. If someone is putting their belief in something without evidence, then a lot of the time it's because they've got a religious perspective where they think that faith is about believing without evidence. The less evidence, the better. And again, there's this concept of religion being opposed to science. If you're religious, then you're obviously not following the science, right? Because you're a person of faith, so you're a person of believing without evidence. If you're a person of science, then you must not have a religion, because why would you follow a religion? There's no evidence for religion. But as I've looked into my faith and the things that I believe, then I've seen a lot of reasons, a lot of evidence for my faith. And I've talked about some of that on this channel. I think it was last stream I was talking about why I believe in anything, why I find evidence for anything, only because God exists. And that doesn't mean that you have to believe that God exists in order to know anything. But I argued that you can't know anything if God doesn't exist. So it doesn't matter what you believe. He exists. And because he exists, then we have a basis for having knowledge. Okay, so I am filled up a little bit here. Now I'm going to collect some metal and some sand. I need both of those. And I've got spaces for those in my inventory, so that's good. I should be able to gather those without running out of space. And I don't need to worry about the shark. That's what I love about finally being able to beat that guy, is I can function without fear for a while. I'm going to need some clay too, and I do have some of that in inventory, so I'll gather some of those. I'll probably just try to fill up my inventory as much as I can. Feel like I'm kind of getting close to the edge of my air with that last gather there. Well, and there's another context in which we use the word faith, and I think it's very interesting compared to how people think, what people think faith means. People thinking faith means blind faith, faith without evidence, and yet I've heard the example, let's say you're going for a hike, and it's a long hike. You've gone to the trouble of hiring a guide in order to help you with this hike. Maybe you're climbing a mountain or something. I don't have a hook. Did it break? Thankfully, I have learned hooks are very easy to replace. In my last stream that I did in Raft, I died and I wasn't able to get I didn't have a hook in inventory any longer. So I had to, I felt like I had to restart the world because it was hard to gather things without a hook. But then after the fact, I realized the hook recipe is very easy. You can easily run across the items you need for a hook, just waiting for junk to drift by your raft. And then, let's see. Yeah, it not too hard to construct there. Then my oxygen is running low again, and I'm not pinned under the raft. I sometimes worry that I'm going to be gathering right under the raft, and when I need to breathe, then it'll inhibit me. So let's say you're going on a mountain hike, and mountains can kind of get complicated, what with tree lines and the way different paths go. So you decide you want to hire a guide for this particular mountain. Make sure you get up and come back down safely, know all the safe places to rest and relax. I would like to go to bed, but I'm afraid if I go to bed, then time will pass and another shark will show up. So, and even now that it's morning, I'm a little bit concerned. So I guess I didn't need to worry about bed much. That looks like copper. I don't think I need copper right now. Let me get some oxygen before I double check my inventory. So I'm not going to worry about the copper now, but that will become important when I need to make a antenna and receiver so I can find the story-specific location. Because right now I'm just wandering around and collecting supplies in order to survive, but I've got a book that kind of hints at the narrative. I can peek at that in a bit. So the... Oh, I'm cutting it too close. Ah, okay. My poor character was drowning. I've got the general idea of where I was about the faith thing, but I'm trying to remember back, and I was talking about the mountain guide. So why would you hire a mountain guide? One answer would be because you have faith in your mountain guide, because this mountain guide, well, tell you what, let me not go there immediately. You've got faith in your mountain guide. Why would you have faith in your mountain guide? You have faith in your mountain guide because he knows absolutely nothing about the mountain, has no clue what he's doing. You just grabbed one of your random friends and said, "You'll do, I trust you, I have faith in you," and went up the mountains. Did you grab the friend who has the absolute worst sense of direction? Probably not great life skills, is likely to get his leg broken by accident and hold both of you back. Is that the person you picked to be your mountain guide? No. You put your faith in a mountain guide who has had years of experience, has probably lived on the mountain his whole life, is a friendly guy who's wise about how he behaves and how to protect you. Okay, I heard a splash I wasn't expecting, and I'm getting a bit skittish about that shark. So, there he is! My internal clock is doing well. That's great. So, I'm out of here. I think I've got enough to make that smelter I need. So, let's see. What else do I need? I've got some food waiting for some wood. I've got plenty of plastic. I do not need plastic. So I think I'm all set to go. He's too close for comfort. Okay. And this anchor is a one-time use kind of thing. Where did I put my spear? Did that break? Did my spear break? My spear broke. And hopefully he won't bother me until I can get another spear crafted. Got rope. I can make rope. So I just need one more plank. That'll come with time. I'll have to see whether the axe is effective if he shows up. I'm not sure it will be, because they basically make the axe to chop wood, not to fight sharks. It would be overly convenient for this game, I think, if they give you an axe to fight sharks with. So if you're going to put your faith in a mountain guide, you're choosing a guide with a lot of evidence behind him, a lot of reasons to believe that he would be a worthwhile guide. So why would faith be different in a different circumstance? Why is it that we say faith, well, society says faith, I don't say faith, is blind, but society says faith must be blind, must have no evidence. And yet, tell you what, I can be using my hook to grab things. I was just kind of doing it by hand up until now, I think. But this plank is coming right for me, so we'll save the hook for now. And I placed a couple more planks, so now I'm behind. Okay. And here comes another. So if you're choosing someone to put your faith in, you're choosing someone with evidence. But when we're talking about faith, it winds up being, we're talking about blind faith. And I think there's a difference between faith, just the word faith, and blind faith. I do think there is such a thing as blind faith. And there, I've got my spear just in time. There you go. Go away. And I need another plank. Get back here. Ah, my aim is terrible. Got it? Which board was it that needed to be repaired? Okay, there. The boards don't look broken, but you see the little repair indicator on the hammer, so that helps you to pick out the right one. I need more planks to cook that shark steak. Not that I'm hungry, but it's good to be prepared. So I was saying, I think there's a difference between faith, which is kind of like the larger category, and blind faith, which is a specific type of faith. Honestly, one that I wish didn't exist, because I do side with with my culture, with Western culture in this, that I think you should have reasons, you should have evidence for the things that you believe. So I absolutely do like science. I appreciate science for all of the knowledge that it gives us based on what people have been able to observe. I think we've been able to okay, so I've got my food needs taken care of. Now I need to work on making a brick to research so I can make that smelter. Oh, that doesn't work great. Let me cook up one more steak. Now I've got inventory space. That's how these games tend to run. I tend to put my clay on the edge, but it strikes me that that shark may come up. So I'll just put that there. We'll let it dry for a bit. I'm trying to get back to the exact place that I was talking about how I do appreciate science and evidence, and I think that the scientific method is very beneficial. We look at particulars, at bits of data, and the bits of data that we see repeating, we come up with a general principle for why that would be the case, why those bits of data repeat the way they do. And then we make experiments to see if our general principle is correct, and if it holds, then we have more information that we can work from and observe society through. I'm getting thirsty now. Thankfully that's easy to fix. I bypassed that island, but I don't really need anything until I get that smelter made, I think. So I'm not too worried. So if faith is not just blind faith, if that's not what we're supposed to be practicing, then what is actual faith? What, for someone who's named faith, what is it that I'm trying to live up to here? And we understand that faith has something to do with trust. I had a conversation with someone who told me that it was sneaky. It was disingenuous to say that faith is exactly the same thing as trust. But he was coming from the position that faith can only be blind, which I'm not sure that like I say, I don't believe that that's the case. To insist on a narrow definition when the word could go broader, I think that might be a way of deceiving yourself, if not others, also. So, so looking at this relationship between faith and trust, are they one and the same thing? Since there is the possibility of blind faith, but also since you put your faith in someone because you have evidence in what they can do, I'm going to say that faith probably does, the broader concept of faith probably does sit in the middle of those. Stop interrupting me. There we go. And I've got plenty of planks, so I can repair that now. Okay, how's that bar doing? It still looks pretty damp. I think if it were dry, I'd be able to pick it up. I don't see a way to pick it up now. I can remove it, but not pick it up. And I saw some kind of reddish color in that direction, so I was thinking it was sunset already. So as a Christian, of course, faith is very important to my belief system. We say that it is by grace through faith that we are saved. So what does that mean? Grace, in order to understand the words that the Bible uses, why the Bible uses the word that it does. I'm hungry again. Thankfully, I've got a lot of food. In order to understand why the Bible uses the words that it does, I think it's good to know the original languages that the Bible was written in. The Old Testament was written mostly in Hebrew. Some bits of it were written in Aramaic, which they're called Semitic languages. So just like you have Romanic languages, and I think they're also called Romantic languages. That's how I pronounced it as a kid anyway. And then as an adult, I am less certain about how I'm supposed to pronounce it, so I lean towards saying Romanic, because the idea is they're based on the Romans' language. So those would be like Latin-based, like French and Spanish. I have my hook, but I'm not throwing my hook. Why is my hook caught? What's my hook caught on? Yeah, I'm not throwing it. There, I've got it reset now. Sun's going down, and I want to wait until it goes under the horizon, and then the game will let me sleep. So we have these Romanic languages, but there's another family of languages called the Semitic languages. And that word Semitic comes from the name Shem. So in the Bible, there was a man named Noah. And during his life, there was a great flood. Okay, water's getting a bit choppy here. Can't fall asleep during daytime, so I jumped the gun a little bit, but it's going to let me sleep now. Okay, and I think I can get this brick. I do have room, and I am terribly hungry. I forgot how hungry I was. Or I didn't. I don't think I was hungry, but by now... Oh, I'm thirsty. That's the problem. Let me fix that. Okay. What a mess I am. I need to do some fishing, too, because I am now officially out of food. I'm resorting to beets. Okay. So I am doing okay for now. And did my fishing rod just break? Let me fix that. Let's see, it's a tool, is it? Need some more rope. Need more fronds. Palm leaves. So that's what I'll work on. And I do have... How big is this thing? This is a... I can't tell what... Raw mackerel. So this should be pretty big. I get it mixed up with herring, and those are tiny. Those are more like shark bait. I don't need plastic. I need fronds. And this hook is about to break too, but at least I can replace that pretty easily. So I was talking about the Semitic languages. You know, English is kind of a blend. It kind of is between more Germanic. He won. Let's fix that. And I've got my brick. I could be researching this brick, right? No? Where did the brick go? I've got it. It's just not in hand. There we go. Yeah, I had it the whole time. Okay, so. And I've got extra palm fronds I didn't know about. Okay, we've researched the brick. Now we can learn the smelter, so that's good. And that'll help me to create some other stuff. Where's a good place to... Oh, I don't have the smelter yet. I need to craft it. So that is... There we go. Need 6 dry bricks, so we'll get on that. I've got 5 anyway. There we go. And I think I'm going to build on a little more here to kind of protect those from shark attacks. Yeah. And we'll have more room for the smelter when that's finally ready. I'll go ahead and replace my hook. Put that up there. Now I've got a fishing rod. That feels much better. Time to fish again. So English kind of sits between the German languages, Germanic languages, and then it has some Latin in it because we borrow a lot from the French, I think. So we have some of the Romanic languages in English. And there's a family called the Semitic languages, comes from the name of Shem. He was a son of Noah. Noah lived during the great flood. There's a lot of debate about whether this was a global flood, the way the Bible describes it, or whether it was a local flood. I tend to tilapia. That's one that I need. So I'll just go ahead and throw that out because I don't care about feeding the shark right now. And I can eat my mackerel. And I've got room for pomfret. So, you know, this is not a survival game. This is a juggling simulator. That's what this is. So during the flood, Noah was the one that God commanded to build an ark, a great big boat that was large enough to hold Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives, and also a sampling of all of the animals on Earth. They had some animals from every kind in existence on Earth. And so when this flood came that God had designated to destroy all of the wicked people in the earth, which was basically everybody except for Noah and his family at the time, then Noah and his family were safe, and the animals got protected, so it preserved the wildlife that we need in order to survive. And Noah's 3 sons were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Shem was the son that the Semitic peoples were descended from. Those of us who, well, I've got some English heritage, I've got some German heritage. So the people that are in my line descended from Japheth, I believe. So the Old Testament was written in the Semitic languages, Hebrew and Aramaic. The New Testament was written in the, I'll call it a Japhethite language. I'm not sure if anybody else refers to them that way, but it's written in Greek. So, gotta stop fishing so I can beat this guy. There we go. Repair this. And there's a plank floating by. I can go ahead and restock. So if you want to know why the Bible chooses the words that it does, you want to get a hold on what are the Hebrew or Aramaic or Greek words behind the English words that we've translated the Bible into in order to make it readable to us. And I am not an expert of any kind in Hebrew or Greek, but there are resources out there that you can use to look up the words and kind of get a sense for what they mean. A big part of understanding the Bible is grammar, and I don't really have good tools for understanding the grammar. That one I'd lean toward listening to teachers who know about the Hebrew and Greek grammar. Thankfully, my pastor is one of those who has studied those kinds of things. So nice to have good teaching like that close to me. I've got this plot. I think I might... No, this is a small box. So this is really kind of good for flowers and beets and potatoes. Oh, I was trying to just water the soil, but you have to have something in it in order to water it. Now I'm thirsty. So that was bad. Let me see. I've got my tilapia now. I can eat that. If I make more shark bait, I can clear my inventory. I may as well. Now I can fish for something bigger. There's a big island that way. Why don't we go and pay that a visit? Oh, if I can. Yeah, I'm horribly thirsty. Sorry, gal. I think her name is Maya in the game. Sorry, Maya. They give you a selection of 2 characters. You can choose a female character and a male character. I know the female character is Maya. I don't know who the male character is. So when I look at the word faith in the Bible, why did the translators choose to use the word faith where they do in the Bible? The word that that we see faith translated from is the word pistis in Greek. P-I-S-T-I-S. I don't know how you would say the Greek letters for that, but pistis is the word that often gets translated as faith. And I wanted to, I think I lost a tangent somewhere. I was talking about how a very important passage in our Bible is that we are saved by grace through faith. So I think I thought I was fishing, not gathering. But let me get a drink, and maybe my character will be more clear-minded after she's got some water in her system. So I was explaining that. That's where I think... No, I was handling the tangent. I was about to lose some of it. The word grace comes from the word charis. And English, I think transliterated, we would say... we would spell that in English C-H-A-R-I-S. And again, I don't know the Greek letters names. Up. That's no good. Can I get my box back? I want that mackerel. I have to fish for it twice. Got it. Good. Okay. No! These guys don't stack? Well, that's a bummer. And I don't have an anchor made. So let's check on how easy that is to do. God. I guess I don't have plenty of stone. And I don't have room for rope. So I'll throw out the scrap. I'll pick up the rope. I'll fight the shark. Repair the raft. Set the sail. That's not how I wanted to set it. There we go. So, why am I not going and landing on the island? We're so close. Why are we moving away? But I don't have enough stone. I want us to bump up against there. I don't feel good about just hanging out in the middle. Let me go ahead and check some of this bait, and I'll see if I can dig up some stone to quickly make an anchor. This is... Okay, good. I was kind of jumping the gun there. This is not good gathering territory. I have to leave the raft in order to find anything decent. I'm not too happy with this arrangement. That raft is getting further away. I'm not going to risk it. We'll have to find some other island. But I do have room for whatever this was. Can I get you? Can I pick you up? No? It's just in the way of this sail. I'm hoping if I can turn it, then... Nope, can't. Not worth it. And then what do I need in order to make a 6th brick? Because I need 6 of them in order to... I need more clay. We're already that far away from the island. Look at that. So I'll have to find the next one. I'll take care of it there. I can maybe pick up a barrel or something. See if I can collect some more stones. And am I hungry again? I'm going to resort to the pomfret. Didn't I have a mackerel or what? I don't know what happened to that thing. Maybe this was the mackerel. Wait. Pick up scrap. Yes. Oh, scrap. Not mackerel. Okay. I see an island that way. That's not the one we just left, right? Maybe we can land on that one. And I'm getting thirsty too. May as well fix that. I can't wait till I get a more advanced water filter system. Okay, looks like we're on track to reach the island. I'm just going to see if I can fish up some better food. Because I don't have a decent fear for fighting the shark either. Mine is pretty worn. In order to make that spear, I would need wood and rope. I've got enough. So I'll hold on to that idea. I haven't been looking for barrels. There's one out there, but it's way beyond my range. So we're just going to have to beach. So let's see. The word charis in Greek kind of has the idea of a gift. You're giving someone something. They did nothing to deserve your gift. You're just being magnanimous. And so the idea is we are saved by grace. This salvation that we have from our sin. And I've talked about being a Christian, being saved from our sin because Jesus paid the price for our sins. We've offended God by the ways that we've disobeyed him, the ways that we do not give him the respect he deserves. Bye-bye. So we deserve to pay a penalty. We're basically criminals against God. And the, let's see, first order of business is making a spear, which I am immediately going to check. Let's go ahead and distract the shark. Okay, and then I can make a spear. And now I am safe to go find stones. I won't bother the shark just yet. Got some stones. And I'll also need some materials for another brick. And I'm hungry already. I am not leaving this island before I hunt that shark, I think. Because I'm getting desperate for more food. So let's make a decent anchor. Got it. We can replace the axe. Okay. Time to, I don't know if I want to fight him while he's chewing on that thing. Because the timing might be off. Well, that's a way to eat. Okay, he's gone, so now we're set. There he is. I see him. I want him to kind of get a bit distant before... So I have plenty of advance warning. No, don't turn around now. I'm thirsty, that's my problem. How long do we think I would survive in real life, huh? I don't give myself good odds. Of course, then the hunger and thirst are more than just a display on your HUD in real life. I think I'm ready. I'll probably see him better once I'm in the water. Though, hopefully not face to face. Here we go. Hi. Soon it... Oh! He was a bit close that time, so I couldn't get the timing right. Okay, I should do better now, I hope. Got him. Oh, there's my spear. I like to see if I can hit his tail when he passes. I didn't get a chance because my spear was broken. I'm worried about that one. He was a bit close. I can't see him. Okay. I'm gonna get under a bit. Got him. He's still alive. He's gotta die soon, right? Ah! I'm drowning, I'm drowning. Okay. Hi, Smiley. I started out when I was streaming last time calling him Bruce because I thought that was his name. There's a place later on that you see a journal entry where it says what someone wanted to call the shark. I called it close that time too. Not great, but I've got food and I am desperate to get back to the raft and cook it up. I saw someone commenting on the game later and they called the shark something else. So maybe the creators changed the name of the shark, or maybe I'm misremembering. Okay, so now we've got something to cook up. While I'm waiting for that, I'll get more water. And just kind of hang out for a while. And maybe when I leave, I want to have some more stones in my inventory. I could make that out of brick, right? There we go. So that should get me a smelter when I'm ready for that, when that's all dry. And I'm going to place another plank. So that's the best I can do for my current health situation. I am so hungry. Please hurry, please hurry, please hurry. If I stand still, does that mean I'm not going to use as much hunger? Sorry for the boring graphics as I'm just staring at this piece of shark steak. It looks really good. Tell you what, I could probably remedy this now. Probably kind of gross, but desperate times, you know. So that buys me some time. Okay. Then once this is done cooking, then I can put another shark on the grill. So the Bible teaches that our salvation, the fact that Jesus paid the price for our sin, and we can have His righteousness as if it was our righteousness. The Bible says that that is a gift. For we are saved by grace. It was a gift. But it comes through something, and the something that gift comes through is faith. I think I'll chop this tree down and get myself some coconuts. Okay. And we're really just waiting for that piece of clay in the corner to dry. Down there, you see there's one that's not like all the others. Did I get any coconut? I got palm seeds. You can't eat palm seeds. So anyway, you see why as Christians would put a lot of stake in faith and what faith is. Faith is meaningful to us, so we don't want to just abandon it because the world tells us that the only faith that you can have is blind faith. On the other hand, we also value truth very much, and that we've got some methods to find truth, and they all kind of revolve around logic. Like the scientific method, it's a logical method for identifying the truth. And logic is based on having reasons for what you believe. We often use syllogisms, which are made of usually about two premises, and if those premises come together the right way, they lead to a particular conclusion, which is the belief that we eventually hold. We consider ourselves to have good reasons when we can make that syllogism, when we can have our premises that lead rightly to a conclusion. So since we want both faith and truth, how do we resolve that? Well, let's look at the word faith in the Bible. Like I said, the word faith in Greek is pistis, and that, from what I understand, I'm working off the top of my head here, but I think the root of pistis carries the idea of having reasons, of being able to reason, of being able to defend your reasons for what you're doing. I think, tell you what, I think we might be safe from a shark. I'm going to see what I can find here. Okay, the game is staying live so I can have time passing. While I'm checking on this, I want to look something up on the Bible site that I use in order to check the Hebrew and Greek here. I like a site called blb.org or blueletterbible.org, and it not only gives you the Bible verses, but you can dig a bit deeper and find the Greek and the Hebrew words that were used for those verses. Okay, there we go. So there's the word pistis, and I am checking the I want to check the root word of that, see what the idea is. Peitho, and they've got it spelled P-E-I-T-H-O. Persuade, to persuade. Okay, so the idea with peitho would be to persuade, but how do you persuade someone in what you believe? You use reasons. It's how easy would it be for me to persuade you to do anything, or to believe anything, if I didn't have good reasons for that persuasion? Okay, so I'll top off here. So I've got my 6 clay bricks. Let me see if I can make this the smelter. There we go. So I need scrap and a nail. And I don't have... I'm going to have to get the nails from a barrel, I think is where they come from. I could make them with metal ore, but I don't have any metal. Oh, I can make them with scrap too. So scrap is the order of the day. So I'm going to go to bed, and how's that spear doing? I may have to make another spear and fight the shark a second time. Okay, got it. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I'm going to pick up some scrap from the sea floor, and then we'll get this smelter put together. I don't see a shark. I don't hear a shark. The first... I was gonna say, the first thing we'll know about the shark is that it'll bite me. Okay. Let's see, a little thirsty. Let's deal with that. Let's get this food cooking, and then I will go and face the shark one more time. So we'll have a lot of food available at least. I'm just... Oh, I can plant... No, I can't plant watermelon because my box isn't big enough here. I've got these blueprints. Let me just get rid of those blueprints really quick. I think. Researched, okay. Researched. So I don't need these blueprints anymore. Where did he go? Where's that sneaky shark? This area is pretty flat, I think. If I want to fight the shark, it'll be in this area. I hear something. I thought I heard something. I'll see something before too long. There he is. And interestingly, in the New Testament, it talks about being ready to give reasons for what you believe. So if our salvation, and the Bible, I've mentioned the verse too, the way that we are saved, we believe that that Jesus, let's see, if you believe in your heart, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and if you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So our, again, that faith that the Bible talks about, we are saved by grace through faith, it's based on the belief that Jesus, the Son of God, was raised from the dead to save us from our sins. We've got to give good reasons for that. So if that faith is based on blind belief, how can we give reasons for it if we have no reasons for it? So the Bible seems to contradict itself, except, again, going back to the root word for this word in the Greek faith, the the root word comes from the word to be persuaded. So when you have faith, you have been persuaded. You do believe in this thing, and you get persuaded by reasons. That's the way that we practice persuasion even today. For me to, I'm trying to come up with a good, silly example here. For me to tell you to go outside and take a bath in mud. Oh, well, why would I tell you that? I don't know. I don't have any reasons. You're not going to go outside and take a bath in mud just because I tell you to with no reasons, right? Now, if we look a little deeper, because faith is not just in the New Testament of the Bible, it's not just in the second half of the Bible, it's also in the Old Testament of the Bible, the first half of the Bible. And the New Testament kind of calls back to this. The book of Romans talks about Abraham. Abraham was a figure in the Old Testament. He's that shark feels like it's getting slower. I don't know. I don't have time to breathe. Apparently I do. Okay. Abraham was basically the founding member of the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel is named after his grandson Jacob, but it was from David's line that the people of Israel were going to come. I hope I said the name right, from Abraham's line. Okay, got it. And now I need to not drown. And then I was going to collect scrap, I think, so I'll go ahead and take care of that. Got some more metal here too. Metal's always good. I can make better spears when I have metal. Once I get that smelter, I'll be able to smelt some of this metal into bolts, and then we can research more things. It's too bad you can't use metal to... Well, I guess if you use metal to make the nails and things, then you have to have a smelter, which relies on a nail to make, so that doesn't make much sense. I've got my scrap. I think I need at least 6 pieces for all the plans I currently have in mind. So in the New Testament, in the book of Romans, Paul says that Abraham believed God and it was counted to him as righteousness, which is a lot like how salvation works for us. And I think that was Paul's point, is that I think he was quoting the Old Testament. He was quoting Genesis, where Abraham's story is, where the Old Testament says in those words, it's not just something that Paul made up, that God counted Abraham's belief as righteousness. I think Genesis actually says that. If I'm not misremembering, I've got to be careful with my memory. It's not the best. So look it up yourselves, maybe. But I would give you a closer reference, but I don't have one off the top of my head. Genesis is not that long a book to read, and it's worth knowing, so I'll just let you find it yourself if you're interested. But Abraham practiced faith. He believed God. It was counted to him as righteousness. He got that salvation that the Bible talks about, even though he lived before Jesus. He was looking forward to when Jesus, our Savior, would arrive on the earth. Didn't know who it would be, but he knew he needed a deliverer and that God had promised one. And so Abraham was following God because that's where his deliverance was going to come from. So the Old Testament also talks about faith, and the word when the Old Testament, the word that's translated faith in the Old Testament is the same word that we get our word amen from. So when we pray to God and we end the prayer with amen, that comes from the word for faith. I believe it's amuna. I know that emuna is a form of it. There's different forms of the word, so I am basically thinking of the words around the root that carries the idea of faith. But there's also a related word that has to do with to nurse. A child was brought up in a certain way. And I've got... Okay, good. I had my Bible page here covering up the... Okay, now my focus is not on the game, as in my my computer focus. I did not mean to make myself so thirsty. Just a moment. We'll get that fixed. Place a few more planks. And then can I make another nail? I now have the scrap for it. Hold on, Maya. I'm working on it. Give me a bit. Okay, got some water. And I'll stock up for the next time. Because apparently I'm bad at doing that. So I was thinking I would go ahead and look up one of these references for faith from the Old Testament and quickly get the idea that I'm trying to convey here. So I'll do that. I wish I were a little bit more prepared about this. So it's one of those things that I've studied because it means a lot to me, being a person named Faith. I want to know what it is that I'm named after and whether it's something that I should pursue. Okay, so I am looking at a verse in Deuteronomy. The verse says, it's talking about the Lord. He's talking about I'm having a hard time from the context seeing whether he's talking about Israel or the surrounding nations. I'm thinking it's talking about Israel because Israel had this relationship with God where they would where God was they are God's children, God's chosen people. And when I say God's children, I don't mean that they're saved. I don't mean that all Israel is going to heaven. But they are the children of God in the sense that God has specifically selected them and he's protecting them because they have a specific place in his plan. So he, but Israel, just like all of us, we all fail God. We all have things that we hold higher in our affections than God. And so, the verse is talking about how Israel is idolatrous, and it says, and he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, so very rebellious generation, children in whom is no faith. So we've got the word faith here. The word faith comes from the word emun, so similar to the words that I've been saying, amuna, emuna, comes from the root word amen, so where we get the idea amen. And one of the things that I noticed when I was studying this verse is it talked about, here's one, Ruth 4:16. In Ruth, Naomi was a woman who moved to Moab. Her son, who moved with her, got married to one of the Moabite women, so someone who was a Gentile, someone who was not a part of the nation of Israel. The son died, and this Moabite woman, Ruth, said to Naomi, I'm going to go and join you. Your people are going to be my people. Your God is going to be my God. And so Ruth moved back to Israel with Naomi, and she married another Israelite there in Israel. And Ruth actually became a woman who is in the lineage of Jesus. So Jesus was born to Mary. He was not born to Joseph, Mary's husband, because God had promised ahead of time. God had prophesied that his son would be, that the deliverer would be born to a virgin. So it wasn't a illegitimate birth the way we understand it today. It was, Mary had contributed her part to the to that by bearing Jesus, by being the mother of Jesus, and God had supernaturally, not physically, not the way that we understand sex to work, that kind of thing. God had supernaturally created what was left, contributed what was left to bring a physical being, Jesus Christ, into the world. So Jesus being God the Son, was born on the earth through a virgin birth, the way that the Bible teaches it. And that is one of the reasons that we know that this particular fellow is the deliverer. Who else was ever born of a virgin? We've got legends of the gods having relations with people, but they are not relations that line up with the Bible. So God prohibits what's called sexual immorality in the Bible. And so this was not how Jesus' birth happened, because that would have been inconsistent with the nature of God and with what God calls good. So let's see, the verse that I was looking at, let me pause this just a moment so I can look at this specific verse, because Ruth being in the line of Jesus, naturally she had a son at some point, or a child. It was a son. It says, the verse I'm looking at, Ruth 4:16, says, "And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom and became nurse unto it." And the way that word nurse is used, at least in America, we think of nursing, we think of the specific act of feeding a baby. But I understand in other countries, that's not the idea behind the word nurse. There's a biblical teacher I really appreciate named Ken Ham. One of these Bible apologists, and that was a word I was thinking of during the course of the stream, apologia. That's the word used for having reasons for what we believe, being able to give a defense for what we believe. That's the word used when the Bible tells us to be ready to give reasons for what we believe. And let me make sure I can see my chat while I'm not looking at the verse anymore. And I've got a little food for a while. Wrong angle. I'm opening the sail here. And apparently I need planks, so we're going to work on that. Because wood is a staple product in this game. So, apologia would be one of those reasons, one of those words that gives us a reason to think that our faith should not be blind. Since we've got both pistis and apologia as important concepts in our Christian faith. How did I jump to that train of thought? Just a moment. Oh yes, there's a Christian apologist named Ken Ham, and I believe he lives in the United States now, but he originally comes from Australia. And I was reading a book from his, and he was talking about how once he had been on a phone call, and at the time he was holding like his grandson or something, just holding him the way a grandfather will. And I was on a call with someone at the same time, and he had to get something to give information for the phone call, something like that. He had to do something with his hands, and he said, "Give me a minute, I'm nursing the baby." So in where he comes from, Australia, it just means I'm holding a baby. I need to put the baby down so I can do this. But it shocked the person he was on the call with, because for them, I believe they were American, why is a man feeding a baby? And for us, nursing is very specific. It's using the body to feed a baby. So obviously that's not what's happening when a grandma is holding her grandson. No, she's just holding him. She's not physically feeding him the way that his mother might. So all that to say, why does the Bible choose, what is the relationship between the idea of faith in the Old Testament and the idea of nursing in this context, the idea of holding a baby? Well, when you're holding a baby, you are that baby's full support. That baby has nothing left to stand on. It is relying solely on you. And that is the way faith works, is when we put our faith in something, we are being fully supported by the thing in which we have placed our faith. So the question is, what are we standing on? What is the subject? What is the support for our faith? Okay, I can move that plastic over and give myself another space. How many viewers of the stream will notice that I had two piles of plastic there the whole time when I was messing with my inventory? Okay, I don't need palm fronds anymore, so I just need to catch wood. Probably ought to be fishing again, but it's good to have the supplies available. And I've got nails. I can make the smelter, I think. Let me go ahead and craft this. Oh, one more nail. Yes, now I've got it. Okay, so I'll just put this over here. I think it'll fit over here. And I want to rotate it so this, yeah, there. And then I'll build on and make sure the shark doesn't get it. I don't think it's on these boards, so I think it's duly protected. And now I can smelt some metal. And this thing takes up to 5 planks, I think. There we go. So I need more wood, and I am starting to run low on plastic. So I can take care of that. Except not with that one, because my aim is terrible. There we go. So again, the Bible tells us that our salvation is by grace through faith. Well, faith in what? What is it that... Because faith doesn't... I would say shouldn't stand alone. And when we talk about blind faith, that's the kind of faith we're talking about, is faith that stands alone. Faith that stands on our own will. There's a lot of people who are Christians who we look at the Bible and it talks about the times that Jesus healed people, and sometimes Jesus didn't heal people because they didn't have faith. And for instance, Jesus came from the city of Nazareth, but when he went to Nazareth to try to do his ministry there, it says that he couldn't heal anybody because the people of Nazareth... I don't have a spear? What is going on? And I don't have any rope either. Okay, let's get this fixed up. Okay, so that's all set. I'm going to collect more planks because that used up the ones that I had collected. So Jesus wasn't able to do any healing because they didn't have enough faith in Nazareth, because they kind of knew where Jesus came from. They didn't really know, or else they'd have believed him, but they thought they knew that he was the son of a carpenter. which is kind of ironic because he wasn't really Joseph's son. He was Mary's son, but he wasn't Joseph's son. He was the son of God. So, I'm not trying to imply any insult to anyone, but, oh, did I drop something? I'm just double checking because I don't see, no, there it is. There's my medal. Let's research this medal. Can I? That's not what I wanted to do. Research. I got something. I can make a bolt and a hinge and a grill. I can make a big grill. I can cook those catfish I've been holding on for so long. So why don't I work on that next? Need 2 metal ingots, 2 ropes, and some more nails. That's all I think I've used up all of my scrap. Metal ingots shouldn't be too hard to come by. Okay, there's an island over there I may as well put in. There may be a good reason. And then I need planks down here just because I am about to get hungry again. And fill up on the water. And planks are going to become a lot scarcer in my inventory because I'm going to be burning through them like crazy now. So there are, I'm not sure if I left off exactly here, but here's where I'll pick up again. There are Christians who look at that passage, that's where I was, talking about how Jesus couldn't heal in Nazareth, and they say, well, clearly, and there are probably other passages in Scripture that are slipping my mind also, but they say clearly the level of faith that we have, how fervently we're believing in something, has something to do with what, oh, I know where I was. I'll go ahead and pick up exactly where I left off. And that was, I'm not imputing carpenters, but if you heard that someone was the son of a carpenter versus that someone was the son of God, who would you have more respect for? Was the direction I was going. Okay, I'm thirsty. There we go. Do I have enough? No, I only have 1 stone. So we'll just beach. But anyway, there are Christians who look at the passage about Nazareth, and maybe there's other places in the Bible that are not top of mind right now, and they say, well, how fervently you're believing in the Lord, that must be what allows you to have results. So if you've got a serious illness and you're not being healed, it's not God's fault, because God is definitely, I would agree with this, God is omnipotent. He can do all things. There's no reason why he cannot heal someone. Oh, but you don't have enough faith. You're not believing fervently enough, and that's the whole reason that you're not being healed. But what if God has a good reason for not healing you? There's a story in the Bible about a man during Jesus' time. Jesus and the disciples were walking by a place and they saw a beggar who was born blind. So this person had been suffering from this blindness ever since the day he was born, had never seen what seeing looked like. And the disciples asked Jesus, who sinned for this man to be born blind? Was it something the man did after he was born that God knew was going to happen, so God had him be born blind kind of as punishment? Or was it something that his parents did before he was born blind? And Jesus said it was neither. It was that God had planned this moment for God's glory, and Jesus healed the man who was born blind. And I think it's a great story in the Bible. I'm not going to get into that story immediately, but it did have relevance when I was trying to talk to my friend who became an agnostic atheist. It was something I was able to use to make a point, so it's a little bit close to my heart. I've got my grill. Got everything I need to make a grill. Did I make it? Or did I don't think I've made it yet. Let's go ahead and do that. So I think, where can I put this thing? I think I'll put it here, and then I'll have to build on. Craft. I got a grill. I'm going to rotate it. Okay. So I'm taking that metal ingot, and I can remove this now, because eventually I'm going to need the space. I'm going to have to start building more on my raft, like making a roof, because when I get to the antenna part, I'm going to need that roof. Okay, so there's the shark. And I've got a pretty good spear. I could fight him if I need to. I haven't prepared any bait, so let's go ahead. Let's take care of this. I think we got each other that time. I can't see him. I can't see him. There he is. Got him. See, I think the last time maybe I was kind of moving too straight. I like to kind of strafe to the side so that he's always a little bit off as he's coming at me. I'm gonna have to breathe soon. Okay, now I can breathe. Let me just go ahead and keep getting a breath until he's a bit closer. So Jesus' point with the blind man was that that God had planned for the man to be blind until the day that Jesus healed him for God's glory. How many times might that man have wished to be healed during his life? Maybe he had even prayed to be healed, but God had not healed him. Why? Because the man had too little faith? No, because God had a specific plan for God's glory. And there are people who go unhealed, like, I'm trying to remember her name. There's a lady, I know her first name was Fanny. She wrote a lot of hymns. She was a blind lady. If you're familiar with church history, you probably know her name right off the bat. I can't remember the surname. Oh no, I'm without a spear. Can I get back to the... Oh, this is terrible. He's gonna... There he comes. I'm not gonna look. I'm just gonna focus. I might be able to make it. I might be able to make it. Can I make it? Okay. So he gets one bite from me. Let me go ahead and put some food down here. Do I have any planks? No, I will. Because I've got an axe. And let me see about replacing that. No planks, of course. Okay. So I've got that down. I'm going to be getting this tree. I've got plenty of fronds, so that should help me make all the rope I need to replace my spear. Are there no other trees on the island? No other trees on the island. But I've got a new spear. I can make some room there. I've got some food. Let me put another piece of metal on there. Maybe if I have time on this island, I'll also get some seaweed. Yeah. He knows about the spear, so he's trying to bait me up here. Not gonna work. I'm still doing you damage. Okay. No planks. Okay, so I'll just fight the shark and then I'll be able to swim around and get planks. At least I've got a little more health from eating. Strafe, 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 strafe. Good. I don't usually strafe to that side, so I was a bit worried that I wouldn't be able to plant it. Okay. Oh. Couldn't get under the water fast enough to see him. Strafe, strafe. You gotta die soon, buddy. You look like a mess. There we go. I called it. Okay. So that should be everything, I think. Now, do I have room for seaweed is the question. I will once I eat this mango. There we go. I've got plenty of room. Seaweed is good for making plastics and for flippers. I think it's used in binoculars. Why am I not seeing any actual seaweed though? There's supposed to be glowing nodules on these things. I know I haven't collected. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, time for a breath. And I don't see any seaweed to pick up over here, so I'm going to collect some more metal, maybe some sand, because I know I need some glass for a advanced water purifier that doesn't use any planks, so I'm excited about that. Oh, there's some... I passed some sand here. There we go. I'm trying to figure out which tangent to get back onto. If you haven't been on my streams before, then you may not have seen how many times I lose my train of thought, but we're halfway through this one, so you've had good opportunity to see that in this stream. That's why I'm thinking I may try to put together topical YouTube videos that are going to be a little bit shorter. I was hoping to make shorter streams, but I seem to continue running these about as long, especially when I don't have a topic planned. Like today, I don't have a topic planned. I want to try to focus on making these streams more interactive, in the sense that if I'm on a topic, it's kind of hard for me to pull off. If I've planned a topic, then I feel like I need to get back to it, and I don't think that's the healthiest plan to have for a stream. But I do want to have topical content for the channel, because part of what I want to do with the channel is express my beliefs, and the best way to do that is in topics, so that YouTube can send those topics to people who actually want to hear about them. So I'm still experimenting with the format of how I want to do things. You may not see a lot of changes on the channel's surface. A lot of the changes are happening with how I'm thinking about the running of my channel and how I approach things, like today being a little less planned, so that I have the opportunity if anyone wants to have a conversation. But I still do need to have something that I can say, so that when you come into the chat, there's something interesting to... When you come onto the stream, there's something interesting to listen to. So, working that out. If I make more topical videos, then I can dedicate more stream energy to being available to chat. Okay, so I've got that steak cooking, and I have some water available that I may as well drink. And that shark did some damage while I wasn't paying... No, I remember I didn't have planks, and I don't have planks, so let us leave this island. There we go. It's easier to leave if I'm not holding my hammer. Why am I grilling on there? I've got a great big grill now. I can put a catfish on there. I don't have anything to cook it with. Look how big that fish is. Then I do have another metal ingot in here. And I think I'll go ahead and throw some seaweed on there. That'll make some vine goo. It's kind of like glue or plastic. And then I'll call the daylight. So anyway, about Nazareth and about why they had too little faith and Jesus didn't do any healings there. I'm wondering if it was something like, and the Bible doesn't say specifically, but I'm wondering if it was something like they didn't even show up. Like, oh yeah, our boy is back. Yay, he's professing to be some sort of prophet who could do healings. Yeah, right. Nobody came out asking to be healed. I'm thinking that's probably what happened. It wasn't that Jesus' power was any weaker. Because I'll give you an example. Matthew chapter 8. I really love Matthew chapter 8 because it opens up with this story about a centurion. So not even a Jew, not even from Israel. Between Matthew 8 and I think there's a parallel passage in Luke. I don't remember the exact reference to that one. But between the two of those, you find out this particular centurion was actually really nice to the Jewish people, which was kind of unusual. And the Jewish people really appreciated him. He had helped to support constructing the synagogue. So for a Gentile, someone who wasn't Jewish, he was well beloved in the community where Jesus was when this story happened. And he had this servant who was paralyzed. Don't know how the servant got paralyzed, but a really serious situation. And so the community came to Jesus and said, would you please help this centurion? Because he's a friend of our community. He's got this servant that's in a really bad way. He really cares about this servant. Would you please heal his servant on behalf of us? We know you do things mostly for Israel. Would you please take care of this on our behalf? And so Jesus says, okay, I'll head over to his house. He starts on his way to the centurion's house, and the centurion sends him a messenger and says, please don't come in, because I know how it is with you Jews. I understand you guys are very careful about being holy and being clean. I see a abandoned raft over there, and I'm going to see if I can make it out to that abandoned raft. Don't know how well it shows up on the screen. It's kind of a speck when I look down here, but maybe if your video is full screen, maybe you'll be able to see it. So you'll see it in a bit, and if you don't see it now. So the centurion sent word to Jesus, please don't come in. I know that you, he understood how the Jewish culture worked. If a Jew came into a Gentile's house, that Jew was unclean. It was very inconvenient. It was kind of against the Jewish religion. And he said, I understand authority. And I am a man under authority, and I have men under me. And when I tell a man, do this, he will do it. When I send a man to go there, he will go. So I know that from wherever you are, if you command my servant to be healed, he will be healed. And Jesus said that Jesus was very impressed, and you would think it would be hard to impress the Son of God. He said, I have not seen any greater faith in all of Israel than from this Gentile. And I'm paraphrasing, but that was the idea. It's the whole nation of Israel was not demonstrating as much faith as this Gentile did. And so Jesus said, all right, his servant will be healed, and at long distance the servant was healed. It happened just as Jesus said. I've got this vine goo. Maybe I can research that. And I know I am dying here. I am working on that. Maya, stop coughing. You are not contributing to the atmosphere of the stream. There we go. Why don't I go ahead and cook some small stuff here, and then I've got big stuff there. And am I on track to hit the raft? Please. These rafts sometimes have good blueprints or pieces. Might even have some glass. Ah, I missed it. I missed it. Can I take the risk? Okay, and this raft immediately starts to sink, and there's the shark. I don't know how much stuff I left, but I got the blueprint. There was no glass. Looks like I got everything from the raft. Good. There was a little bird's nest on top. I've never noticed a bird's nest on top of a raft before. So I'm getting hungry, and I've got a big catfish. That'll be a couple meals for me. So in Matthew chapter 8, Jesus does this task for the centurion, who is the person who demonstrates the most faith out of Israel. And then he goes on a boat with his disciples. They cross, I think it was the Sea of Galilee. They cross the Sea of Galilee a lot. And it seems like a couple times there were these freak storms on the Sea of Galilee. I've had a chance to go to Israel. I've seen the area. And this sea, it's kind of like a big lake. It's surrounded by these mountains, these hills. And so when there's clouds coming, you don't really get to see it. They kind of come up over the mountains and surprise you. And what am I looking for? I know I'm looking for something I want to build on here, so I don't need my inventory. Okay. I want to try to protect my research table here and maybe my grill. Got some food there. I need another piece for there. And my hook is nearly gone too. Let me correct that problem. Not until I have a plank. See, I told you planks would get more scarce for me. So Jesus and his disciples crossed the Sea of Galilee, and there were a couple times, there were a couple accounts of something like this happening, so I'm trying to, oh, that's why I'm not anywhere near the junk, because I've got my sail still open. It's taking me off course with the wind, so now that I've got that up, I should drift back into the current where all the junk is. Who knew trash would be so valuable, huh? I feel like this is a very anti-environmentalist game. Oh, shark looks hungry. Go away. I can't repair the raft while you do that. I need planks. So there's some goods over there. Is that? No, that's not the same raft we left, because the raft we left sank. But I don't... Well, I've got some space in my inventory. I may as well. Why not? Come on, open up. And rotate. So Jesus was crossing the Sea of Galilee with his disciples. Another one of these freak storms came up. I believe this is the story where Jesus was in the boat with the disciples, but Jesus was tired from the day and he had fallen asleep. Now I can fix my hook. So the disciples were alarmed by this storm and they woke Jesus up and they said, "Don't you care that we're about to drown?" And Jesus spoke to the storm, if he can heal a paralytic from a long distance, then the only difference between that and the storm is not a person who can actually hear and obey. I don't think the paralytic heard Jesus telling him to be healed and was healed. I think that was clearly supernatural, didn't have anything to do with what the man did. But I'm just comparing the two events. You have this centurion who is sure that Jesus can defy physics in order to get his servant healed just by the force of Jesus' will and authority. And yet the disciples who had been with Jesus for so long did not seem to understand that the same Jesus who could heal a paralytic from a distance. The waves must be getting choppier because I did not call my hook back. This centurion, the disciples who should have known that Jesus was capable of this were surprised that Jesus was able to calm the storms. But I'll give them some benefit of the doubt because the storm is this inanimate force. I can't get up there. There we go. Got it. And now I'll close the sail so I can get back in the junk. Oh, that catfish was cooked. So I've got a recipe for vegetable soup. Let's put these shark steaks on there. That'll at least help my inventory. And I can place some planks. What else can I do to make room for this? I don't really need that shovel anymore, but I'm not going to worry about that now. I don't think I need the clay right now. I can always get more. Did that big catfish go away? Yes, there it is. Get back here. Too late. What a bummer. Anyway, Jesus told the wind and the waves, "Peace, be still," and they obeyed him, just like the paralyzed servant. They were stilled, and the disciples were amazed. And Jesus said to them, "Oh, you of little faith," is what he called them. And that's what stands out to me is you have this Pharisee, the centurion. I have all these factional groups in the Bible. You have this centurion, and he's demonstrating more faith than anyone in Israel. And the very disciples who are with Jesus have so little faith. So that's what stands out to me. But then after Jesus calms the wind and the waves for the disciples, they go to the other shore, and it's this area that's populated by a bunch of Gentiles. I think it's called the region of the Gadarenes. And there are a couple parallel passages in the Bible. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Matthew, Mark, and Luke are really very similar to each other. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels, all talk about the same kind of thing, Jesus' lifetime. And it's as if you've got this conversation between these eyewitnesses. You talk to 3 of the eyewitnesses, and their stories are all the same because they're telling their stories earlier. So they're basically giving you if you're talking to an eyewitness, they basically give you the major points. If you're talking to someone early who doesn't know other people are talking, a lot of the early eyewitness testimonies, say like crimes and stuff, is very similar because they're talking about the big details. And I'm getting this from a book called Cold Case Christianity. It was written by a fellow named James Warner Wallace. I've talked about him on the stream before. So he has experience being a cold case homicide detective, and talks about how the biblical eyewitness accounts are similar to actual eyewitness accounts of factual events today. So he mentions how you may get eyewitnesses early on who he talks about how important it is to separate the eyewitnesses because you want to hear their different versions of the same events. But if you don't get those eyewitnesses separated, if you get the story of the eyewitnesses while they're together, you'll get one eyewitness telling you about the basic big things that happened with the crime, his memory of the crime, which is the story that they would have all given you when they were separated. But then the one who's standing nearby knows that story has been told, so he won't tell the same details. He thinks he's helping by giving different details. So then let's see, I'm not going to worry about the box of whatever I threw away just now because I don't think it was terribly important. Yeah, I've got all the basics. And I just don't have the reach on this hook to get that box. Maybe that's one of the things I should be developing next. Okay. Those are all cooking up. So just trying to figure out what I want to do here, and if I'm tying up all the different lines of the topic that I've started, because I'm feeling about ready to quit, but I want to make sure that I cover this whole topic thoroughly. Jesus is in this region of the Gadarenes, and depending on which of the parallel passages you read, which Matthew, Mark, Luke, they tend to run the most similar, and then John is like that eyewitness who gives the different details because he knows the story that's already been told. Depending on which parallel passage you read, it may be one person who was possessed by a demon, a demoniac, and the way this demon manifested in the individual that Jesus saw in the Gadarenes, he was supernaturally strong. The people in the region, because he was just so wild, they had to bind him up with chains, and he would even break the chains, and he lived in the cemetery. I think I should be able to do some building up on my raft here. There. And I'm going to see if I can add on a few bits there out of wood. No, I'm not out of wood. Am I out of plastic? I'm probably out of plastic. That one should do it. There we go. So that's probably all I need for now. And that wood's trying to slip under. I don't think I'll let that get away if I can help it. Oink. Okay, have I researched bolts? Can I research bolts? What do I need to research next? Bolts. I can make a bolt, I think. Yes. So I can research a bolt. So now I can get a shovel. That's I think I've built a shovel before, but I've never been able to use it. And dirt is going to be important at some point down the way. Circuit board. I need vine glue for that, but I also need copper. So I should start focusing on making copper. A hinge. I can make a hinge. I can research a hinge. No, I can't research a hinge. Go away. Okay. And I do have planks for repairs. Good news. Okay, so I have this already in here. Got a lot of good stuff there. And I think the rest is stuff that I have yet to come by. So that's coming. That'll probably be next stream. So Jesus, depending on the account you're looking at, it was either one demoniac or two demoniacs. I think one of the accounts says there were two of them. So the way I reconcile differences like that, I assume that there were two, and that one was kind of the more prominent speaker. So here's someone. There's nobody else around besides Jesus and the disciples. and this demoniac. And the demoniac is not coming to Jesus to be healed from being possessed of this demon. He's coming to Jesus to ask Jesus to go away. I mean, not so much ask. Like, these demons have driven this man here. The man is not even under his own compulsion. He is controlled by these demons, and the Bible calls them legion. A legion of soldiers was like 2,000 soldiers back then. So this guy was massively possessed by these spiritual forces. And they were here because they knew Jesus was in the neighborhood, and that meant trouble for them. They were not there to get this guy help at all. They didn't just have faith. I'm calling it anti-faith. They were against what Jesus was going to do. And yet Jesus was able to send that whole force of demons that was possessing that man, those men, into a herd of pigs. And the Bible says that the pigs ran off of a cliff and into the sea. So Jesus was not very welcome in the region from that time forth, because the people who farmed those pigs had just lost a lot of profit, but it wasn't the soul of the demoniac. The demoniacs that Jesus rescued were of greater value than that entire herd of pigs. Even though that man was probably a Gentile, by the way. So we see Jesus. I've mentioned one story where Jesus told a woman, "I'm here for the nation of Israel," but we don't see Jesus being, I'm going to call it, racist. Jesus is not excluding the Gentiles. He was making a specific point to that woman. Let me see if I can make sure this box doesn't fall into the water. Palm leaf? I think I need palm leaves. I think that's important. Let me go ahead and make another bolt, because those are good, but that doesn't really help my inventory, does it? I'm going to get palm... Oh, I've got palm leaves. I don't need a palm leaf. Okay, I'm fine. And I don't have plastic, and I don't have room for plastic, but that's okay. What can I make with this bolt? I can make my girl drink. Hold on. We'll plan ahead. Do I have food? I don't. I do have some food. I would like to prep some more, so I'll just go ahead and get my fishing rod going here. Too bad while I'm fishing I can't really craft anything, and I don't know that I have the inventory space for it either, actually. So we'll do something with that bolt. What do I want? What do I want? Nicer hook might be good. That takes a bolt and some rope, but I don't have the scrap. So how about a better axe? I do have an axe in my inventory. That takes more rope. Do I really want the axe, or do I want a better spear? That takes another ingot though. No, that's a metal spear. So I'll put some ingots in here, or at least one of them. It only takes one at a time. So in Matthew 8, there's this progression that I'm seeing. It starts with the person who has the greatest faith, the centurion. And then it talks about the spear's broken. Can I do anything? Nope. You would think the axe would do something. And I don't have plastic. Now I do. Can I get another plastic? I think it takes 2 plastics to make another square on the raft. There we go. And I may as well go ahead and collect more plastic, because no doubt I'm going to need it. I would have gone for that bottle, but by the time I found my hook, I think it was too far away. So I see this progression in Matthew chapter 8, where it goes from the person with the most faith to the people with the least faith. to the person who, or people or spirits or whatever you want to call it, who were actually opposed to what Jesus was doing. And none of those affected how powerful Jesus was. In fact, I would suggest the centurion who had the servant healed, Jesus had been healing a lot of people. So maybe it was a bit of a leap to say that Jesus could heal from a distance. But it was really a kind of a small thing that Jesus did for the centurion. With the apostles, they were surprised that Jesus was able to command the forces of nature. That seems bigger. That seems a little bit more like a stretch, I'll admit. But I would say, based on the centurion's argument that Jesus was the authority, since he was God who created nature, the disciples should have known he could have done it. I heard something. Was that a shark? I don't think so. Okay, can I pull this in? But I think nature, okay, you could argue that is a bigger thing that Jesus did than healing the centurion's servant. So, but then there's the legion of demons, and we don't get a lot of interaction, or at least I don't. I think Western culture generally doesn't get a lot of interaction with the spirit world. We're taught to disbelieve that kind of thing in Western culture. So it seems more amazing. I'm making the argument that maybe it's more amazing for Jesus to be able to command these spiritual enemies, and because they're spiritual beings, they have actually more power. Some people think, how can a spirit have more power than a physical being? Well, I cannot go into somebody and control them. A spiritual being can. A spiritual being can give a human supernatural strength, and make that human do what it wants. So there seem to me to be some powerful aspects to these things that's greater than human power. I want to keep that space empty, I think, because I've got enough wood and fronds, and I've got a space for plastics. Am I hungry again? I'm hungry and thirsty again. Well, I've got food. I can take care of that immediately. Is the water prepped? Yes, for once. Okay. We'll get that set up. And I haven't been fishing because I've been gathering plastic. But maybe I better consider fishing. I'll do that, and then I'll just grab whatever plastics are nearby. And I won't go to the island yet, because I'm pretty much starting to wrap up the stream. I'm on the home stretch here. My point with the stories is that, arguably... Oh, I've got my sail down, so I am heading toward the island. Do I want to... Maybe. We'll try it. Ah, no. My fishing rod broke, so at least I haven't... No. I won't be able to deal with this. Can I get... Yes. Go away. Okay. Just in time. Whew. Okay. So anyway, I think Matthew 8 is a good example of... I've got plenty of fronds. I can toss that for now. Matthew 8 is a good example of, I think, of how... A reason I believe that Jesus' power, God's power, doesn't diminish because people are believing less. He has the power. The question is, are you going to respond to it? And that's the whole premise of salvation by grace, a gift, through faith. It is God's power at work, and God is always powerful enough to save us, no matter what we've done. I know there are people who have done some pretty awful things. Hitler is considered the gravest example of evil, and certainly you could argue there were people even worse than him. God could save all of those. If they responded to Jesus Christ, if they were sorry for their sins and said that they needed deliverance from that penalty, if they wanted salvation, God could and would save all of them. Obviously, the ones I have in mind are deceased now, so it's too late. But no matter what you've done, if you're still alive, it's not too late for you. If you want that salvation, then you are certainly allowed by God to seek it out. The Bible says that, again, I've said it before, if you confess Jesus as Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, then you will be saved. And God's power is not short in your case either. Yeah, I may as well go ahead and eat up what I've got here. I could be looking for food here. Why don't I do that? So let's see. Have I said everything that I want to say on this subject? I've made the point. I believe faith is not blind. In fact, I think the Bible teaches that the best kind of faith is the one that has reasons to support it. You are finding your support in logic. And that's how that's a method that God has given us to determine the truth, is by thinking logically about our circumstances, about what we've seen, about what people have said. And I've got my dog here who's a bit more interested in what I'm doing. So I'll probably have to wind up and let him outside, but I'll try to wrap up first. Hello, boy. So if you've seen the Discord, then you'll see a picture of my dog on the Discord. I have him as my, I think I've heard people call it the PFP, the little profile pic. Is that why it's called a PFP? So, anyway, I was making the point. I believe the Bible encourages us to have a faith that's based on reason. So there's nothing in the Bible that contradicts logic and evidence. Let's see, rope and hinge. There's a bolt, but I picked up the bolt, so good. I think I'm set. So I talked about that. I talked about faith's relationship to our salvation. I gave reasons why faith does not affect God's power. Just affects our response. I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up here, and if I think of anything more, I can mention it in the next stream or make a dedicated video about it. So this looks like a good time to call it quits for the day. I hope this has been a interesting stream. Probably I'll come back to Raft. Hello. Okay. Goodbye. I'll probably come back to Raft next week when I stream. We'll get a bit further. And I didn't quite get to... we're working towards making an antenna and receiver. Between surviving and advancing our stuff, eventually we'll be able to craft an antenna and receiver. So we'll see how that works. Whether I'm able to do that in the next stream or the stream following, but we're slowly getting there. And once we get that antenna and receiver, we start to getting to the story track of the game. They have this period where you're in the gameplay loop of collecting things and crafting things. And then there is a bit of a story. Let me go ahead and break open the book here. So they say you're a forward scout. I'll see you someplace dry. You're cis. So they give you some instructions here, and they say follow any radio frequencies. If it's still broadcasting, it's above water. So, okay, we need that antenna and that receiver, that transponder, in order to follow the radio frequencies. Others have come before you. More will come after you. Be sure to mark the way. So, who are these others who have come before me? The world is gone, but its stories remain. Gather as many as you can. Okay, so, and for Pete's sake, watch out for sharks. I don't think I needed to be told that. So I don't believe I have anything else in my book to keep track of. This book will keep track of other things as the story progresses. So we'll see how far we get on that. I am also in progress in beating Minecraft. I am also in progress in the story of my time at Porsche. But I think it's about time to swap out games. I want to focus this stream more on the conversation that we can have with one another, comparing our perspectives and our beliefs, than on the gameplay. The gameplay is just to provide some interesting visuals. So I'm calling it quits now, and God bless you, and play kind. Save world.